and Samsa. The posts of the surveyors, they remain, we keep on filling them because the surveyor is the one pool of our workforce that brings in a sizable revenue streams into the books of Samsa. And then, as I've indicated again, colleagues, when I look into our finances for the year for the past year, we have got a procurement plan, and then we have got about 18% of the procurement plan that has been awarded to date. And then out of that procurement plan, we have got also a 66% of the procurement plan which has not been awarded. And then I'm sure we can all agree that we all know that if we have not awarded, and then it's already February now, we are not going to be able to award that 66%. What are we saying to the sector? But then this is one thing that the board has called us to say that how then do we leverage on the procurement plan and make sure that we use our procurement plan as Samsa towards a transformed Samsa and then a maritime sector. And then I would then say that that procurement plan and then leveraging it towards that transformation, it is a call for Samsa, but then I would also implore the maritime industry at large to also use their procurement plan to implement those transformative elements that we so desire as a job creation. And I would want to say that in the words of Hifa, as Amara who once said, change is inevitable, but transformation is by conscious choice. And in that conscious choice, it is for me, it is for all the people in the maritime industry to make that choice towards developmental state, to make that choice towards a transformed maritime sector. I want to say again, colleagues, we have greatly improved, even though we are saying that we don't have money. For the financial year of 2020, unfortunately, we in terms of compliance, we could not close our audit in time. But I am proud to say that we have achieved an unqualified audit outcome for the financial year 2020, and then that has been a work that came together because there was a pool of resources from the Samsa workers at large. By putting together a comprehensive audit action plan, by being able to better communicate as well as better coordinate their work as a team towards what the findings, answering to some of the requests from the AG, and then working together, it has proven that we at least we are able to improve our financial outcome, our audit outcomes. And as we do that one, also, we implemented some internal controls, and then they have been seen to be working. There are still some laggings, some here and there, but really, it was a great moment for us when we received in December already, which is outside of the compliance timeframes of the annual report, that unqualified audit outcome, and then it came 4 years after a 4 year of receiving qualified audits. So it is a great achievement, and then a round of applause for the finance team in particular, and then the Samsa officials at large for achieving that unqualified audit outcome for 2020-21, of which we will be going into the AGM, and the annual report will be available soon on our website as well. I am going to move quickly again in terms of the people perspective. As I've indicated, we are a Samsa that is bleeding in terms of our finances. We are having management challenges in terms of our organizational structure. We have got a bloated management level, but then those are the things that we are dealing with. And then, as I've indicated earlier on, the board has progressed in terms of the appointment of the CEO, a permanent CEO, and then I do believe that the results are the chairperson will also speak to that one as well. We have implemented some of the things like you are coming up with a management structure which we call MANCO. And I am sure all of us will agree that maritime still remains a largely male-organized or male-dominant sector. It is something that is also a challenge at Samsa, and then we are trying as much as we can to meet the equitable employment equity targets. And then as we do that one, also that talks into the way that we are transforming the sector as an SOE. And that lack of women empowerment, it is something that is striking also at EXCO, because I think that we have got at the EXCO helm, we have got only the CFO as well as the Chief Human Capital as women. And we are also looking into the issue of saying that how then do we retain our people under the core factor of saying that we have got scarce and critical scarce skill. And we have recently put a program whereby we are inviting young people, young mariners and then seafarers to come on board as marine officers, and then they go through a rigorous training. We are currently having 3 of them that started last year in November, and then we hope to improve that number from 3 and double it to 6. It is one other area that we will be doubling as we go and as we get more monies. And we have got quite a number of challenges also when it comes to the employee relations. I'm sure we all recall that we still have 3 of our executives who are still on precautionary suspensions, and then the board the board chairperson will speak about to that one. But then we are also now as at management level assisting the board in terms of the management of the forensic investigator, and then I do believe that the results will come forth in the next month. The impact of COVID-19 on us as Samsa, it has called us to look into the way of doing things, and then as I've indicated, we are implementing. There are gaps, but then we are improving in terms of working from home, and we are looking also of the rationalization of our office space, which is our offices around the regions, and then we are now making sure that we are still able to serve the communities that we serve, and then we are able to meet the service delivery aspects of it. Our performance in terms of the corporate performance indicators in our APP, we are now currently standing at 63% performance as we approach a year end, which is likely to end at 87% as we close the financial year. And we had also a challenge in terms of the cyber attack, which had happened sometime in April 2021. But then that has been since resolved. We have put in place there are quite a number of cyber things and new systems that have been implemented, and then new ways of doing things on our internet and everything else, so that at least we can minimize the impact of such a cyber attack as happened in April 2021. Colleagues and the maritime sector, you would recall that we still had a challenge of the IMO whitelist status as South Africa. We have brought in December, we had the last session with the independent evaluator who was on board with us as Samsa and as well as the Department of Transport to help us to correct and then show some of the gaps that have been outstanding in terms of us retaining our status on the IMO whitelist. And then that report is due to be delivered to the IMO in March. And then once the committee has made an assessment, we are hopeful, according to the results that we have got from that independent evaluation, that we will be able to retain the whitelist as South Africa. That should be good news. However, we still remain the challenge of placement of the seafarers on board for job opportunities. And on that one, again, the last one is that we are still having some outstanding or some of the old legislation and regulations, and then we are working hand in hand with the Department of Transport to make sure that, or whatever that convention that we have acceded to, we are able to nationalize it, and then we can be able to implement in the form of. In terms of the stakeholder management, we are doing well in terms of the stakeholder management. We did celebrate some of the key events like Mandela Day by giving out the water tanks to the community in a community in Northern Cape. And then as we did that, it was us meeting our corporate social initiative obligation as Samsa. And we have had an unfortunate event in December in the IMO Council elections. It is really a sad one for us to say that we have lost our seat as South Africa in the IMO Council, and then we now need to work more and more harder for us to go back into the council come the elections again in 2024. And then we will do that in liaison with the leaders which are Department of Transport as well as DERCO, for us to be able to support that campaign, and then make sure that we are able to go into the 40-seat council when the elections come for the IMO. It is important for us to go back into the council so that at least we can be able to say that the SADC region is well, the southern tip of Africa is well represented in the IMO Council. And then we are also hopeful that as we do that one, we'll also be, as South Africa, be able to ratify the resolution that says that we are going to increase the number of seats in the council. And then once the number of seats in the council are increased, we are also hopeful that it is going to ease the competition when it comes to the IMO council seats. And one last note when it comes to the stakeholder engagement, I would say that the maritime and the shipping people, they would be aware that we have released a marine notice 1, which is about saying that it is a call for us to open the application process in terms of the bunkering as well as ship-to-ship codes. And then that is going, was done effectively from the 1st of February 2022. And then that application process was opened solely in anticipation of us uplifting the moratorium, which was put on place in 2019, in terms of saying that we are going to open the bunkering sector along the South African coastline, not only in the Algoa Bay, along the South African coastline come the 1st of April 2022. That is work in progress, and then we are still in extensive engagements with the sector regarding that opening of the uplifting of the moratorium, and then we'll keep all the stakeholders updated. And we are doing this uplifting in line with the CMTP 2022 theme, which says that we need to unblock and the maritime value chain. And we can only do that one by opening up the sector into viable, where there is viable opportunities, making sure that we open those viable opportunities. And as I close, I want to say that looking ahead, as I've indicated, we are still yet to have the AGM, which is going to now be preceded by the tabling of the Samsa 2020-2021 annual report. And then, as I've indicated, the greatest thing that happened out of this audit was us now getting that unqualified audit opinion. We still have a board strategy that is setting a pace and a tone for us. How then do we unfold and then unblock this sector as we go forward into the APP 2022-2023? And in that session with the board is going to take place now in the end of February. And we are also going to share with you our state of maritime safety, in terms of saying that we have got maritime casualties in 2020 that has now been well documented, and then we are going to table that report as well and then release it out to the public. It is going to be launched. The 2021 report is also ready. It is going to be launched, but then we will share the state of safety report with all our stakeholders once the ministers have released it. And in terms of the incidences, I think we are all aware that we have had some challenging times recently. I will start maybe with the incident that happened in the Jozini, whereby there was that unfortunate vessels or a ferry, a recreational ferry, unfortunately caught fire, and then we lost some people, some foreigner visitors there. But then those are the challenges that we are grappling with of Samsa. We are trying to improve our visibility around even the dams, because we have got a mandate from the Department of Transport in terms of the inland strategies, and then we are trying. We are not able to be present for and cover all the dams that we have in South Africa, but then we are striving to make sure that at least we can train people to be able to be some ambassadors around those dams, and then they can be able to carry out the basic safety elements in terms of water safety. And we have had another incidents in terms of the oil spill in the bay, and it was not a major oil spill, but then it is still a cause for concern. We had the recent one in terms of the cargo, and I think that people were saying that Samsa has illegally dumped cargo or toxic cargo alongside in Saldanha Bay. It was a decision that was not only a Samsa-based decision, it was coming from the joint operations. And then as such, it was, for us, it was still a success because we had to do what we had to do and take decisions, not in isolation, but then as a joint operations together with all the relevant authorities to make sure that we avert a major spill or a major catastrophe on our waters. And then on that note, colleagues and esteemed members of the Maritime fraternity, I think that is all from us in terms of operations, people management, our finances. And then as I close, I would want to say that a free and open society is an ongoing conflict. It is going to be interrupted periodically and then as we do that one, we need to reach consensus and compromises, as it was said by Paul Alinsky. And as we do that one, the same goes the current challenges that we're having in the bunkering session. We need some compromises. We need to come together to make sure that we have got a thriving maritime sector. And then as we do that one, key to that one, it must be able to create jobs, and then it must be a transport sector. On that note, I thank you.